welcome to the No More Bohica podcast. I'm your host, Biddy, aka Gary Crosby Klobitsky Jr., and I'm sitting here with my co-host, Ramsey, the angry Muslim Abed, and they call me Bruce Drager. And joining us by phone, fishing for answers in Forest Lake, Minnesota, is the Poobah, Pete Capoletti. Say hello, Pete.
Hello, Pete.
All right. So, we're pretty joyful today, except for the fact that we got to talk about ice. We got a real problem with ice. At least one of us do, and that's me. All right. I want to talk about ice and how it's hit close to home for me. My mom calls them instant creep effect. That's a good analogy for them. The man that they shot a week ago, while he was trying to help up that woman that had gotten maced in the face or whatever, they disarmed him, threw him to the ground, beat him, and then executed him in front of everybody. That happened about 2 blocks from my daughter's dorm room while she was in her dorm. So to say that that hit close to home for me would be an understatement. The chaos that's being caused in Minnesota right now is just, it's out of hand. And I can't believe that the people that voted for President Trump imagined that he would be sicking a secret police force on us to slay U.S. citizens. Look, it's one thing. I understand the right. If they're going to get in the way of whatever they're doing under their president's guidance, they should get arrested, okay? Just like the protesters got arrested in 2020 when they stormed the Capitol. A bunch of them got arrested, got put away, whatever. I get that argument, okay? But I cannot condone killing in any way, shape, or form. And I cannot condone an organization that lacks dignity and respect for their fellow human beings, okay? So let's just briefly touch on what's gone on in the last week or so. And this all comes from Minnesota Public Radio. It's all readily available. I know that they threw tear gas at high school students in Roosevelt High School. I saw that video. On January 21st, they abducted 4 children from an elementary school that just happens to be a few blocks from my brother's house. It's the same elementary school that he votes at, okay? And so ICE is terrorizing my brother's neighborhood, and he lives in a nice neighborhood. Okay, I walk that neighborhood all the time in the summer when I'm visiting. A lot of these kids I see running around playing are probably might have been some of the ones who were abducted, okay, by ICE. And these are naturalized U.S. citizens. They were born in the U.S. So what is it we're trying to do here? They used one of the kids as bait to catch his father, and then they shipped the father and the child is a U.S. citizen, to another state, so they don't have to answer for their actions in Minnesota. That to me is a little over the top, okay? But let's keep going. They're keeping children in detention even though they were born in the U.S. They're not targeting criminals like they said they were gonna, okay? They are targeting people who are naturalized citizens and have become citizens, okay? So I get the immigration thing, and I get the fact that, oh, I missed this one. They pulled a 70-year-old Hmong man out of his house in his underwear who had lived here for 50 years and sat him in a police car for 3 hours out in the freezing cold. All right, so, look, if ICE could approach their job with a little bit of dignity and respect for their fellow human beings, maybe I'd understand the argument that I hear from all of my friends on the right, okay? But they've tried to deport Native Americans. I mean, who has a better right to live here than them, right? Let's talk about acronyms and how they apply to ICE. Did you guys come up with any acronyms? I have several. Instant creep effect, my mother came up with that one. Ignore citizens' efforts. I think that would be a good one for Trump to use. Ignore calm every time. I mean, have you ever seen these ICE agents act in a calm, respectful, professional manner towards anybody, protesting or not? And isn't it our right as Americans, when we see an injustice, to protest and draw attention to it? Since when did that become a right that we're not able to utilize as American citizens? How about ignite citizens everywhere? Right? I mean, I can tell you that ICE striking close to home for me has ignited me. How about idiots causing eruptions? Come on, chime in. Anyone got an acronym they want to throw out there?
You heard mine.
I want to hear it again.
Israel controls everything.
Israel controls everything.
We just got a strike.
Wow. Well, you know what? There might be some truth to that too. I mean, clearly there's a lot of third-party influence on our government, and all the evidence is pointing towards one source these days, and it ain't the Russians. All right, so we'll touch on that in the future, I'm sure. You know, I remember a time in our history when there used to be people that would ride around wearing masks, harassing people of color, targeting people of color, and committing what most people would consider heinous crimes. And yet, here we are in a modern age with this fascist approach towards our citizenry. I mean, how can you justify open executions? They took the guy's weapon away, beat him, and then executed him. And that's the way it happened. I mean, it's on tape. You can't deny it. No matter how much you may want to support ICE or support immigration. And the question begs, you know, if they're really serious about immigration, then why aren't they going to the farms? Why aren't they going to the factories, the meatpacking facilities, the places that are actually employing all the illegal immigrants? I worked for 20 years in mortgage. I can't tell you how many times I had somebody come to me with an I-9 ITN number asking for a loan, okay? And in any case, they weren't coming from rural areas in Minneapolis where good people live, established families with a right to be here. You know, here's an acronym for you. How about indecent clan exposure? I mean, we got masked vigilantes running around trying to...
Clan is with a K, Gary, but...
Oh, is it?
enough.
Well, it depends on... for
The
my...
clan you're referring to.
Could be a clan, yeah, not the K.
You're right. Their clan begins with a K. You got me on that. The Ku Klux Klan. Okay.
Yeah, let's not beat around the bush. What you're saying.
Yeah. How about imbeciles creating evil? Huh? That's a good acronym for ICE. Imbeciles creating evil. I like that one.
Right.
I mean, because they are imbeciles. They're slaughtering people without due cause. You want to arrest them? Fine. So 2 weeks before the guy got slain, he kicked a taillight out on a cop's car. Why didn't you arrest him then, if he was such a bad apple? Why? You had that on tape. Why did you not arrest him for doing that? You could have got him on vandalism. Okay?
Well, you know, there is good news, Gary. That's because this is now about 10 days since the people took to the streets, and not just in Minneapolis, not just multiple times. They took to the streets all over the country, all over the world, actually. And now the ICE officials will be required to have body cameras.
Yay!
So that's, you know.
Did not know that.
They should have had them in the beginning. The dude was holding his phone when he shot the one lady through the side window. So now they'll have to have body cameras. They removed the one guy, whoever, brought in this other guy to try to lower the temperature. The president has talked with the governor, talked with the mayor. They're talking about drawing down. So because of the activity of everyday citizens, not paid, if these are highly paid protesters, as we've been told over and over, I want to be a highly paid fucking protester.
Yeah, me too.
There is no highly paid protester.
Hey, look, if you're
These
paying
are-
people to protest, sign me up.
I'm
okay?
in. These
I'm
are
in.
American.
I'll take your money. I'll carry a sign. I'll yell at ICE for you. I'll stay about 10 feet away, though. I'm not going to get anywhere near them.
These are our fellow citizens out on the street protesting, which is within their right.
Yeah,
and
pay
it
me.
sent a message.
Pay me to protest. I'd love it.
So, as poorly as this was developed from the beginning, it's recognized now that, hey, we went too far. So that's some of this, that, you know, there's a little bit of silver lining maybe.
Yeah, it's funny when the whole world gives Trump backlash. Oh, maybe we went too far. I mean, is this guy really acting presidential? That's the question I have. And how do people continue to support him? I have no idea. I mean, when you look at his behavior, I don't see a guy that acts presidential. Now, all my liberal friends think that he wants to become a dictator. And I can see why they say that, because he acts like a dictator, right? I mean, this secret police force, ICE, why not just call him the Gestapo? I mean, why not just renege on every single campaign promise that you made except for one, right? You've gone after immigration. So as a Republican, you can hang your hat on that, okay? I voted for you, Trump, in 2016, okay? I lost faith in you within the first year because I voted for you because I thought that you were going to try to clean up corruption in the Capitol. But a vote for you is kind of like throwing gas on the fire, wasn't it? And then I watched all the racists come out of the woodwork. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. I think a lot of these ICE people are racists. Are they being screened properly before being given this type of authority? Or are they just taking any warm body they can get their hands on? Because how do you justify death as a Christian? How? Look, I'm not a literal interpreter, right? But it does say thou shalt not kill. I get the main idea behind that statement. Thou shalt not kill means I probably shouldn't shoot anybody if they push me or get in my way, or try to pick up a little old lady who just got maced in the face. Right? Am I wrong? Anyone want to dispute that? How about the Quran? Does it say it's okay to kill in the Quran, or you're not supposed to kill people unless, of course, they try to kill you first?
You can't kill innocent people.
Can't kill innocent people. All right. So whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, it's against both our religions to kill innocent people. And yet, our president not only condones this behavior, but he ordered it.
It's collateral.
Collateral damage, right?
Yeah.
Now, I hear a lot of conspiracy theories from the right side that this has all been done to distract us from the Epstein files. So, look, I'm not here to sit and bash Trump about ICE all day. Lord knows he doesn't need any help from me to get bashed. But damn it, Trump, be a president, okay? Act presidential. Quit doing a 180 on every campaign promise you made. You know, I listened to an hour-long video that my buddy Brad Dalby sent me from Minnesota about, and how you whined about how people were protesting your presidency. This is before you started killing people. And how you wanted to be loved by the American people. What a bunch of bullshit. You're not even a good salesman, Trump. I mean, I wasn't sold. I listened to that speech for an hour, and I could tell how artificial you were, especially when you repeated the same shit over and over. But the bottom line is this. If you truly are concerned about what the American people think of you, then why on earth do you behave like this?
He's suing the IRS for $10 billion.
Oh, is he? So the $2
Who's gonna
billion
pay
you
him?
made your first year in office wasn't enough for you.
He's suing the IRS for $10 billion, and he's gonna decide to settle with himself.
And then he's going to decide to settle the...
He's gonna settle for $5 billion.
All right, I'm going to go on record and say this.
I want to get in on that.
I want to say one
He can
thing.
settle.
I'm going to say this right now on record. And we probably won't know this for real until long after I'm dead. But I think Trump is going to go down as the most corrupt president in the history of the United States. I think thanks to Trump, maybe.
I don't know, Gary. There's a really high bar there.
That's true. But I think Trump cleared the bar his first year on his second term. I mean, seriously. I'm not a liberal. I'm a conservative, okay? I haven't voted Democrat ever.
He's gonna bankrupt the country, that's what he's doing.
But I just might next fall.
He's gonna bankrupt the country.
This country needs a third party. We need a three-party system. We need an anti-corruption party.
Here's the problem. Has a third party ever worked in a presidential election? I don't think it has.
It would have.
In Minnesota, one time, Jesse Ventura caught lightning in a bottle, and he had a famous name because we all used to go to the Met Center and watch him wrestle when we were kids. And he won as a third party as the governor of Minnesota. But it's extremely few and far between that anybody gets any kind of real traction and actually wins as a third party. It's nearly impossible.
Yeah, I agree. It's never been done. Ross Perot might have done it if they hadn't have threatened to kill his family. I think you were the one that told me that, Poobah.
I voted for Ross Perot. It was, I think it was the first time I actually voted in a presidential election. I listened to the Democrat, I listened to the Republican, and then I listened to Ross Perot say both of these guys are nuts.
So
and
this
I voted
is
for Ross.
this is how dedicated I was as a conservative. I was raised as a conservative by conservative parents, and whoops, we lost Pete. Hold on. And in '92, I thought about voting for Ross Perot, but my dad said no. He says if you vote for Ross Perot, Bush will never get elected. Oops. Sorry, Poobah. We got you back now. We got you back. So I actually voted for Bush in '92 because I was sipping the Republican Kool-Aid that said that a vote for Ross Perot is a vote for Bill Clinton.
You're wasting your vote.
Yeah, and since I happen to be really good at reading people after 30 plus years in sales, I can read body language like an open book. And when Clinton before the '92 election, when he promised not to raise taxes, I knew instantly that he was lying. I could see it in his body language. You can't hide.
You read his lips, and you still thought he was lying.
You read his lips, didn't you?
No, I read his body
His
language.
lips were moving.
And when he said that, I remember it was like during a debate with Bush or whatever. I jumped out of my chair and I was like, he's lying, because I could see it in his body language. It was just there as plain as day. You can't, but whatever. I mean, honestly, I wish the politicians would lie to us like that nowadays and tell us they're not going to raise taxes and then raise them, rather than go out and slaughter innocent civilians. And not only that, we're sheltering pedophiles. Our government is sheltering pedophiles. I mean,
So Gary, I was going to say, speaking of old man Bush,
right.
I don't know if anybody has heard or listened to a report on the latest Epstein file.
It's ugly. It sounds like we have a.
Old man Bush has his own chapter. Put it that way.
Yeah, it sounds like we have multiple ex-presidents that are pedophiles.
It's always on a
And
boat,
like I said,
like The Sopranos. It's always on a boat when this stuff happens.
On a boat, just like the Vikings, the love boat.
If
Blame the boat.
one sentence of what was released is true of the 6 million pages documents, if one sentence is true, it's a catastrophe.
Well, it's been a catastrophe for a long time now. Who's that gal that you like? Tell me her name again. MTJ or?
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
MTG.
MTG.
Like mortgage. Gotta remember that.
MTG.
MTG. So she quit her job, because Trump lied on the campaign trail. And kudos to her. It's probably get her elected president. Smart move. Maybe she'll be the one to hit him down the middle. I don't know. But I do know this. I know that there are 1,200 victims of pedophilia that have come forward that deserve justice.
Abuse.
They must all be
Sexual abuse,
lying, Gary.
and pedophilia.
All 1,200 are
Who's
lying.
gonna compensate them? The nation?
You know what? I think, what about, who cares about compensation? What I care about is holding people accountable for their actions. Look, if you're going to be a pedophile, I don't care if you're worth trillions of dollars. You're going to jail. All right? This is America. Now, you can get the fuck out of my country and go commit your crimes in another fucking country if you want. So get the fuck out of my country, you fucking pedophiles.
You know what's never
Sorry.
come up? Do you know what's, Gary, 100%. You know what's not come up in these Epstein files? Is whether people were treated differently if they were Republican or Democrat. That doesn't matter.
Right.
There's no differentiation of
Guilt is spread on both sides of the aisle.
Epstein. Any of these guys did not care your party affiliation. That goes back to your third party comment. These parties work together. It's a uniparty. It's designed to keep the public separate, blaming each other, because it really doesn't matter.
You know, that's a theory that is being proposed a lot, especially from the conservative pundits that I've heard.
I think we're opening our eyes more so than ever.
I even heard them make reference to that a little bit on one of the liberal shows I was watching as well. But I think that's more of a conservative.
Because it's
take.
linear thinking. This is what you're preaching about in your book. Linear thinking is you're either Republican, Democrat, or you're independent. You don't care.
That's
You don't
the
vote.
epitome of linear thinking. Yeah.
That's the
Either
epitome.
you're
of
with
it.
us or you're not. It's the Hatfields versus the McCoys.
So how does
Right?
that change?
It's the same old story that repeats itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over since the dawn of man. Because we live in a society full of linear thinkers that are incapable of thinking in more than one direction simultaneously. And because of that, we have people that condone death and killing and murder and execution, or whatever word you want to use for it, euthanization, whatever. I mean, it hurts me that people can defend that type of behavior. But, you know, not everybody agrees with me. And I have many dear friends that don't fully agree with me. And for those friends, I would like to tell them to Google retired Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Aguilar. And he's been speaking out against how ICE is trained for a long, long time before people were getting killed. And maybe people start listening to him now, okay? But, you know.
Well, they have a massive budget and they're building more detention centers, so it doesn't seem temporary to me. I don't feel like this is a.
And it doesn't make
I
any
don't feel like
sense.
this is real temporary.
It doesn't make
Ramsey.
any sense. They're not
Come on,
going into
Mark.
Texas. Why aren't they going into Texas, Pete? They're only going into blue states.
Well, I think they went after very specific people, and they kind of ran out of very specific people.
And if they're worried about Minnesota, why aren't they up on the border arresting all the white Canadians that snuck over?
And
Huh?
They have quotas.
Why aren't you near the border?
They have a quota to
What about
meet.
all the Canadians? I love Canadians, by the way. But what about them? They're not black, so they're okay. They're not brown, so they're okay. They're not red, so they're okay.
Talk about an open border, baby.
They're
That's
not yellow, so
open.
they're okay.
Is it open?
That's the most open it can be. You can go 100 miles and not see a soul. And Canada is here.
Yeah.
A quick little swim.
If a Canadian wants to move to the U.S., they don't have to try very hard to get
No,
here.
you can walk. You can
They
take a
could,
boat,
they could get in a hot air balloon,
canoe.
float over, you know. But in any case,
It was retribution. Minnesota was retribution. We know that. That was
it
obvious.
is. It is. And you know what,
Trump
Trump,
had a hard on for Walls because he ran against him and he called him.
go where
bad
the
things.
immigrants are and actually make an impact, okay? What about all the illegal immigrants that are in every jail cell in all 50 states? Why not deport them first? Okay, that's an easy one. Obama did that, right? He deported 10 times as many people, didn't kill a single person. And I'm sick and tired of hearing how everyone loved Obama, so nobody reported on it. There was the reason there wasn't an outcry over Obama deporting the illegals is, first of all, he got rid of all the criminals first, which is what Trump was supposed to do. And then he did it with dignity and respect, so there was no reason to get super outraged about it. because he wasn't out there killing people and harassing U.S. citizens. So
They called him the deporter in chief. He was criticized, but it
Yeah.
was not. It was not at any level like we're seeing.
I mean, so walk the talk, Trump. I mean, take your ice bags down to Texas and see if they can round up some serious illegals, right? Take them to the farms, take them to the factories, take them to where they actually are. Don't invade our schools anymore. Don't invade our neighborhoods anymore. Why are you going after people that have lived here for 20 years, for crying out loud? What purpose does that serve?
It's a quota.
I mean, a lot of theories that have been thrown my way is this is to distract from the Epstein files. It's to distract from all the corruption that's been uncovered in the state of Minnesota with both sides with the public officials. It's to distract from, I mean, we seem to have forgotten about how many hundreds of thousands of people were slain not that long ago in a tiny little nation next to where you used to live. Do you remember the number? It was a big number, right?
They're still being slain.
They're still being slain. Isn't that where our ICE police force is getting trained? I don't know. Check out retired Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Aguilar. Check him out. Google him on YouTube and see what he has to say about how ICE is trained. You know, we could talk for another half hour about the corruption in our government, but I don't think you want to hear that. So, before we wrap up, we need to talk Super Bowl, right? Switch gears. Enough of the death and violence.
Da-na-na.
Over here we have true happiness. The Super Bowl. So, Poobah, let me guess. Who do you like in the Super Bowl this year?
Well, everybody's saying, well, the Seahawks by 4, the Seahawks by 7, the Seahawks by 12, the Seahawks in a blowout, the Seahawks, the Seahawks, the Seahawks. Which is just the way the Patriots like it.
Right.
Patriots in the upset, baby.
Woo! Patriots in the upset. Okay, how about you, Bruce?
Is that an upset?
I don't know.
Well, I will stick to my conspiracy theory background and say that the Seattle Seahawks, the NFL wants them to be sold because they don't like the estate of Paul Allen that owns them, the Microsoft guy. And they want them to get a new stadium, and they want the Seahawks to win so they can get a new stadium and sell them to some other rich Jewish
And so
guy.
Sam Darnold can rub it in the nose of
So
every Viking
I'm
fan.
going to say the Seahawks are going to win whether they deserve it or not.
Okay. All right. This
And I like Sam Darnold.
Seattle defense is very formidable. And Darnold winning the Super Bowl would be poetic justice for every Viking fan that cried to get him run out of town. Who do you think, Ramsey?
I think the Seahawks are going to win by a blowout.
Blowout.
Seahawks in a blowout. All
Yeah.
right.
It's going to be at least 3 scores.
Well, I've given this a lot of thought. And I think that the New England Patriots are a team of destiny. The Todd, right? They have the GOAT. They're the Todd, the team of destiny. My prediction is that the Patriots will win in a squeaker 23-21 on a last-second field goal.
I hope it's good. I hope it's not.
That's my prediction. So we got 2 for New England and 2 for Seattle. It's an even split. It's an
Game
even
will be
split.
done by halftime.
Right on.
Before Bad Bunny
Come
gets
on,
taken
Ramsey.
by ice.
Before Bad Bunny.
Before Bad
Bunny.
So that nobody has
Album of the year.
so the conservatives don't have to tune into Bad Bunny.
I'm going to watch Kid Rock.
All right.
I'm turning the channel when Bad Bunny comes on.
Well, listen, I want to wrap up by saying I had a vision, okay? And in my vision, it was clear to me that if we didn't find a way to come together and respect our differences, we're not going to make it. It's that simple.
All right, I'll take the Patriots. Then. That's fine.
It's got nothing to do with the Super Bowl. Just remember, together we stand, divided we fall. Right? Together, come on guys, together we
Together.
stand, divided we fall.
Amen, brother.
Beautiful.
Love you. Have a wonderful day. And thanks for joining us. And send us your questions and comments to nomorebohica@gmail.com, please. That's nomorebohica@gmail.com. If you send us your questions or comments, something you'd like us to say on our show, I'll send you an autographed copy of my book and one of these fancy Gladiator for Good t-shirts.
Have we ever gotten a question?
We did. We've gotten two. So we're moving up in the world.
Our fans need to step it up.
Well,
All right, buddy.
that's what we're hoping. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.